BTS news. That morning, the sky over Seoul had not yet fully opened. A thin fog hung in the air, wrapping tall buildings in a pale gray blanket. The filming location in Hanamdong had been buzzing with activity since dawn. Crew members bustled back and forth, carrying props, setting up cameras, and arranging lighting. The smell of coffee mixed with the scent of paint from the set equipment filled the air. Everyone was already in place with their scripts, waiting for the star of the day, Park Jimin. For the past few days, the public knew that Jimin was involved in a secret project, whether it was a commercial, a photo shoot, or even a music video. HYBE remained silent. No official release, no details provided. However, leaks from insiders had drawn the media to flock around the location. The tall fences and tight security couldn't stop the curiosity of journalists lined up outside. Around 8 in the morning, a sleek black car slowly pulled in. The back door opened, and Jimin stepped out with a faint smile on his face. He wore a loose white shirt paired with neatly tailored black pants. His face looked fresh, though his slightly swollen eyes hinted at a lack of sleep. He waved briefly before being escorted straight into the set by staff. Filming began smoothly. The cameras rolled, soft music filled the air, and Jimin danced with gestures full of emotion. All eyes were fixed on him, captivated by the aura he radiated. Yet no one expected that the biggest surprise of the day had not even begun. Near 11 o'clock, as the crew busied themselves resetting the lights for the next scene, the creak of a large door echoed from the left side of the studio. All heads instinctively turned. From behind the blinding light appeared a tall figure in a black hoodie, mask, and baseball cap. At first, many assumed it was just another crew member. But when the figure slowly lowered the mask, time seemed to stop. It was Jungkook. There had been no notice from management, no word from the staff, and even Jimin himself looked utterly shocked. His eyes widened, his mouth slightly open, as though his brain needed a few seconds to process what his eyes were seeing. The crew, who had been busily working, froze in place. Some dropped their notes, others stared in disbelief, and a few began whispering frantically. "Why is Jungkook here?" whispered a young staff member, voice trembling. No one knew the answer. Jungkook's steps were steady, though he was clearly aware that every pair of eyes was on him. His black hoodie contrasted with the studio lights. He walked straight toward Jimin without saying a word. Jimin stood frozen, but a smile slowly began to spread across his face, a mixture of surprise, happiness, and confusion. "Jungkook, what are you doing here?" Jimin's voice was faint, barely picked up by the nearest microphone. Jungkook didn't answer right away. He simply patted Jimin's shoulder gently, as if to say, "I'm here, you're not alone." The atmosphere in the studio shifted drastically. The normally professional and composed crew was swept away by the tension. The cameras, still rolling, automatically captured the rare moment. HYBE managers outside rushed in, their faces pale, clearly unprepared for a situation so far off script. Soon whispers spread. Some crew swore they saw Jungkook arrive without official security, his car not even entering through the main gate. How did he get past the tight security? What was his purpose in showing up at Jimin's set unannounced? The questions only heightened the tension. Jimin himself began to look nervous. He held onto Jungkook's arm, pulling him slightly to the side, trying to move away from the cameras. They spoke quietly, so close that only the two of them could hear. But from their body language, it was clear they were discussing something serious. "This could be a problem," muttered a manager anxiously, phone pressed to his ear. Yet for some crew, the sight was deeply moving. Two figures the world knew as friends, brothers, even more than just colleagues, now stood before them in a mysterious atmosphere. Jungkook's gaze at Jimin was so intense, as if conveying 1,000 words without speaking. Jimin, though visibly worried, could not hide the warmth flowing from Jungkook's presence. News of Jungkook's sudden appearance spread quickly outside. A journalist who managed to peek through a crack in the door immediately posted a breaking story. Breaking news. Jungkook BTS spotted at Jimin's secret filming location. Within minutes, social media exploded with speculation. Hashtags #Jungkook surprise and #Jungkook on set soared to the top of global trends. Army reacted wildly. Some screamed with joy, others were confused, while many worried HYBE would cover everything up. Some even theorized that Jungkook and Jimin were preparing a secret joint project. Was it a musical collaboration? A new BTS unit? Or something far more personal? Meanwhile, inside the studio, the situation grew more complicated. Some cameras continued recording, while others were hastily turned off in an attempt to prevent leaks. But it was too late. Eyes were everywhere, and short clips of Jungkook entering the set were already circulating on Twitter and TikTok. Finally, Jimin turned to the crew. In a calm yet firm voice, he said, "Give us a moment." Everyone immediately understood, slowly stepping back to give the two idols space. What happened next remained a mystery. Some witnesses claimed they saw Jimin holding Jungkook's hand for quite a while, both of them seemingly comforting each other. Others said Jungkook lowered his head, as if hiding something in his eyes. Whatever was discussed, one thing was certain. That day would go down as one of the most unforgettable behind-the-scenes moments of BTS. As of this report, HYB has yet to issue an official statement. But one insider revealed that Jungkook's arrival had not been scheduled at all. "We were all shocked. No instructions, no briefing, and suddenly he was just there," the source said. The big question now looms. Why did Jungkook come? Was it simply to support Jimin? Or was there something bigger? A secret finally on the verge of being revealed to the world? One thing is clear. For ARMY, that moment wasn't just a surprise visit. It was a symbol of an unbreakable bond, a reminder that behind the glittering stage lies brotherhood and stories far deeper than mere work. The studio air remained tense after Jungkook appeared unannounced. The spotlights that had once illuminated Jimin's dance scene now felt too harsh, as if exposing a heavy secret no one was ready to carry. Jimin stood face to face with Jungkook, both of them trying to conceal their expressions from the cameras that hadn't been fully turned off. In a whisper, Jimin said, "You're not supposed to be here." It sounded like a scolding, but his tone leaned more toward concern. Jungkook took a deep breath, his eyes glimmering with something indescribable. He stepped closer, closing the distance between them, and replied in a low voice, "I had to. I can't stay silent anymore." The crew watching from afar exchanged glances. They knew they couldn't interfere, yet the emotional energy radiating from the two idols was so strong it was impossible to look away. It was as if the entire room was wrapped in a secret on the verge of being revealed. Outside the studio, chaos had erupted. Reporters swarmed the gates, pushing against security barriers. Microphones, cameras, and flashes targeted every passing vehicle. One after another, online articles emerged, each headline more sensational than the last. Jungkook shocks Jimin's secret filming set. Unscheduled, unescorted. What's happening with BTS? New project or HYB drama? Social media was no less explosive. ARMY worldwide flooded Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok with thousands of posts. Short videos of Jungkook stepping into the set racked up millions of views within hours. The hashtag Jungkook on set dominated global trends, accompanied by endless fan theories. I'm sure they're preparing a secret duet. Maybe it's the next BTS comeback MV. No, look at how they're staring at each other. This isn't just work. The comments poured in endlessly. Behind the scenes, HYB managers were overwhelmed. Their phones rang nonstop. Executives, media outlets, even sponsors demanded answers. Some staff ran frantically around the studio, trying to contain the information leak. But it was too late. The world already knew, and there was no turning back.